Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here. We're back with another Q&A video. Getting straight into the questions, or questions and comments, I guess. The first one comes from Mica Ray, and they say, well, you can change the team for Q&A vids. It's always these three guys that have to see every Q&A video. Bored.
Alright, so here's the thing. If you're going to keep watching Q&A vids, and this is your problem with it, you might be prepared. You might need to be prepared to be bored a little bit more, because the main point of our Q&As is to A, some cues, and the video is just really for the background.
Yeah.
It's our main farming team, which is why they appear in these Q&A videos, because we just play with them a lot. And, you know, listen, we do lots of content with new teams. We've done a bunch recently. If that's what you want, you can watch those videos. But they really deserve their own videos to explain how we put the teams together. It'd be kind of silly and a bit of a waste of content, I think, to use them as background in videos where most people are there to hear questions answered.
Yeah. Because that's kind of our philosophy as far as that goes.
Yeah. New content deserves its own kind of special spotlight.
Yeah. Our next question comes from Mr. ECalibur, and they say, Wonder Woman over Regime Flash.
Alright, so this was from the video, comment from the video, or question from the video where we did Elite 10 Silvers, and, you know, as good as gold. And short answer, yeah. Regime Flash is a much better damage dealer than Wonder Woman, but this is why it's so important to have an idea of what role each character you've got is going to play before you decide how to gear them up.
Yeah.
Right, so let's run through the team, right? So Nightwing is a better damage dealer than Flash, and Flash is second best, and would be a good choice if we were going to have two damage dealers, right? Green Lantern, the tank, has a better team passive than Flash, so he benefits everybody, so it's hard to give him up. Wonder Woman is a better specialist because of her passive one, right, that boosts the damage, and her special one is one hit instead of multi-hit like the Flash's is if we need to take care of Raven. And when you're looking at an Elite 10 max augmented team, you're going to see a few Ravens.
Yeah.
Now, alright, so Green Lantern also has a one-hit special one, so you could use him as a tank and a specialist, but he won't be as good in one of his roles when you try to gear him up for both. So if we're doing this to get Flash on the team, we don't really need a second damage dealer all that often, right? So it makes the team overall weaker. So that's sort of a bit of the thinking behind it. I mean, people always ask us, how do you build an MP team? What do you get? And these are some of the principles as far as figuring out who we want to stick on our team.
Lobo.
Okay, there we go. Our next question comes from Henry Cavill, and they say, that glitch doesn't work on Android Samsung S3 phones. I've tried 1,000 times. Can you help me with a working glitch for Last Laugh tickets? I'll subscribe and like all your vids. No problem. PM me, please, man.
Alright, so I'm guessing this is probably not the Henry Cavill that's the Man of Steel Superman.
Yeah, but this was maybe inspired by.
Yeah, now he's asked this question actually on 3 different videos now, so we figured it's worth a response. And this is one of those questions that gives us an excuse to talk about something it's sort of been percolating in my brain for a while, so thanks for that opportunity. So as much as we'd like to speak with authority on whether something works across all versions of Android, I think there's, dozens of versions of Android and hundreds of different devices running them.
Yeah, because even a lot of different things like Samsung specifically have their own proprietary versions of Android that have their own inherent software installed and small kind of changes on them.
Yeah. So, alright, so different software, different hardware, that means it's impossible for us to confirm any glitch except on our own devices. And you know, that being said, we've all been a bit spoiled that most glitches do seem to work across almost all the Android devices. But, you know, when it doesn't work... Alright, so sometimes when it doesn't work, it's because people don't watch the video or don't listen to what we're saying or miss steps. Okay, not sometimes. Most of the time it's because they're missing steps and they make a mistake, right? Do you remember that XKCD comic where it's the tech support? I think it's called the tech support cheat sheet, and I'll put the link in the description if I can find it. So it's not as bad as that, where it's follow the it's this whole thing where it's really saying check the basic.
Oh, is
stuff.
that the flowchart?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't remember that specifically before you brought it up just now. But I'm not surprised, considering there is literally a running joke on Reddit and stuff where they say relevant XKCD and just post a link.
Yeah. All right. Listen, if we have time, we don't mind trying to help out, but it starts with the asker of the question formulating a good question. So not only should it include details about the hardware, which yours did, but it should also include the version of Android. And, of course we can't test it because we don't have it, but at least putting those details in means there's a chance that someone with the same configuration can see your comment and maybe confirm the problem or help you out.
Yeah, and chances are, if it doesn't work on your version of Android on your phone, that there's at least one other person who's watched the video and tried the glitch out. And usually, a lot of the times, like, in a situation like that, you'd expect somebody else to have the same issue with the same basic specs.
Right.
But the problem is, we wouldn't even know most of the time if it was somebody on the same phone with the same specs having that issue, because most of the time people don't give us that information.
Right.
So there's no way to even cross-reference it. We're not even collecting that kind of data unless you guys are giving it to us when you're asking. Yeah.
Now, all right, so that's the first part, right? Hardware, software. Next part of formulating a good question is to be as clear as possible about what's happening. So we've seen lots of comments where people say, oh, it's patched, or it doesn't work, which, those are completely unhelpful because it gives us no idea of what might be going wrong. So, the same way that we try to lay out the steps clearly about what we do, you should also describe just as clearly what you did and what happened that was different from what you saw in our video. All right, so maybe this is a good time for a little small anecdotal background story. You might have heard this before if you've been around our channel long enough, but part of the reason why we started this channel was the challenge reset glitch.
Yep.
And we'd read descriptions about how to do it, but it always seemed to be missing something. And so when we finally figured out exactly what to do, we made a video of what we had been looking for, something that clearly explained and showed what needed to be done so you could see exactly what was happening.
Yeah, because there was a couple of different places that had picked it up and had instructions for it, but almost all of them were incomplete in a way.
Yeah.
And we kind of had to cross-reference it, look at what worked with ourselves, and then even after we learned it, we were constantly making small changes to streamline it as we figured out what was actually important.
And part of it is, when you do stuff a lot, you have blind spots, right?
Yeah.
There's certain things that you understand inherently, maybe that it's not obvious to somebody else.
Yeah, like even going really basic, we talk about juggling a lot. If you don't know what juggling is, it's not helpful to you. You might be able to infer from context, but like at the end of the day, there are people who don't know. People have asked before, right? And that's on us.
Right. I mean, listen, there's literally dozens of ways you could go wrong doing glitch, and if you're not giving enough detail about what's happening, there's no way for anyone to know if you're making the most common mistakes, or whether you're doing something unusual, or whether it really isn't working.
Yeah.
So when you ask a question that's not clear enough, you get useful responses that might be, one would be listing all the likely possibilities. Two, asking you to give more detail. And the three, not the useful response, but the most common one is basically ignoring your question, right?
Yeah, because if you don't give us any information, there's no real point in trying to get that information from you. Because usually we comment and then you give us half of what we need, and then we have to comment again. And at that point, we're usually solving the exact same issue that we've solved for other people a bunch of times, or that we have told you in the video. And there's only so many hours in the day, and so many days in your lifetime, and it's just sometimes it's not worth it.
So doing, and it's even worse if you do a comprehensive answer to sort of address all the possibilities of what may be going on. It takes a huge amount of time.
And they're like, oops, it was that thing that you said 5 minutes into your video.
Yeah. So I mean. And you know what, too? Given this is sort of the second part of it. You promised to subscribe and like all our vids. You probably don't realize how much time it takes. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but maybe we can talk a little bit about YouTube so you can understand some of how what we're doing works, right?
Yeah.
So if we look at our numbers now, we've got almost 15,000 subscribers. Like, we're getting up there. If we had to earn every single subscriber by providing one-on-one support, we wouldn't have time to film videos or hold down full-time jobs or go to school.
Or really just live lives separate from this channel. It would be a lot of it would be a mostly unpaid tech support job.
That's right. Yeah. Listen, I'm not even saying that there isn't value in subscribers, but what you are asking for in return for your subscription is way out of whack. I mean, all right, so let's maybe put it in perspective in terms of what the numbers mean. So 1,000 subscribers lets you attend YouTube-based social events. 10,000 subscribers lets you attend their learning sessions and rent the space and book their equipment, right?
Yeah.
So between 10,000 and where we are in the next level, 100,000 subscribers gets you the silver play button.
And you can also rent out all of YouTube space for like parties or events.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And by rent out, I mean you can book out. You don't actually have to pay.
Next level after that is another order of magnitude. That's 1 million subscribers gets the gold play button, and 10 million gets a diamond, and apparently there's 50 million will get you the ruby play button.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that was a thing.
That's apparently PewDiePie's got it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're at
one person.
So we're close to 15. The next threshold where the subscriber count matters, independent of how much it influences engagement, it's 100,000. So for us to earn the next 85,000 subscribers through even, say, 5 minutes of tech support, just, 5 minutes doesn't seem like a long time, right?
Yeah.
It would take more than 7,000 hours, or if you were doing 40-hour work weeks, it would take 177 full-time work weeks, or 3.5 years of full-time work. Yeah, no thanks. Listen, if we can't...
And that's just people who would, like, figure out how to do something and then not have to watch our videos again because they would already understand it better.
Yeah, that's true.
They would actually have less reason to watch any of our videos than before.
Yeah, no. So, listen, if we can't get subscribers, because of the quality of what we're doing and they don't want to watch it, then... Yeah, I don't know that we really should be worrying about how many subscribers we have.
Mm-hmm.
So the video where this comment glitch came from, it was the demo of the Last Laugh Ticket glitch on version 2.13. It's got 11,000 views, and it has earned us $1.26 in the last month, and $7.49 in its lifetime. So that's what those 11,000 views are worth. And just as a side note, that's quite a bit below the average of our channel's $1 per 1,000 views, but whatever. So that's why we don't always respond to every single comment or question.
And that's also why a lot of people do sponsorships. Selling out is one of the best ways to actually make good content that people want to watch for free.
Yeah, ad revenue is not enough. If you want to make a living at it, or even just like a really good hobby out of it, the ad revenue isn't going to be enough.
Yeah, any successful business in which the product is free, what they are selling, what their profitability scheme is you. You are the product, and that is why getting sponsors is one of the only ways that YouTubers can really sustain high quality content.
Yeah. So you can probably tell. I mean, we've said it a bunch of times. I'll say it again. This is a hobby for us. It's part of the reason why we don't respond to every single comment or question, because we don't have the time. It could be something as arbitrary as, if we're going to answer it, we happen to have a moment when a particular comment goes up, and we'll just say something. And listen, if you say something interesting, you can really tempt us to answer, right? So, do you remember when the overselling glitch, when we did that first video on it?
Yeah.
And everything was interesting because lots of people were having problems.
Oh, yeah.
So we spent a huge amount of time reading comments and talking to people to figure out what was happening before we came out with our sort of definitive second video.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also why we don't have a lot of patience for people who obviously haven't watched the video. Listen, if somebody doesn't have time to watch the video, I'm not sure why we should have the time to respond.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the long-winded way of saying that you have a better chance of getting help if you, A, you ask a question with the right details. B, don't ask something that's already addressed in the video. And C, don't make your subscription or like conditional on getting personal help.
Yeah.
Because, listen, we've got enough real-life relatives and friends that have a legitimate claim on our time and attention, so it's actually a huge turn-off. I guess that's probably not the right turn of phrase, but, like, walks on the beach and, that kind of stuff. It's alright, so when people imply...
Bad dating profile kind of thing.
No, non-smokers need not apply, smokers need not apply is what I should say.
Non-smokers. That's a real nasty dating profile.
I know. So when people imply that, if you spend a bunch of time fixing my problem, I will give you my sub and like, I'm not feeling it, right? So let's be alright. So I want to be perfectly clear. Subscriptions and likes are good. If you're inclined to subscribe to us or like a video, absolutely, please do.
And if you've watched to this point in the video, there is like a 99% chance that what we are saying does not pertain directly to you.
Yeah, that's a funny thing, right? Because what we're actually saying would be useful for some people that are not watching.
Yeah, like you guys are a core audience, and if you're asking questions, it's because you are engaging with us, not because you're bad. So don't feel like you can't comment. Don't feel like you can't engage with us.
All right.
Just...
Yeah. So that last fight was worth 5,000, just to be clear. So I just want to point that out. So full battle points. All right. But so that's great if you like us and you subscribe to us. But if you're going to dangle it like a carrot in front of us, yeah, is this can I say this? Piss off.
The good news is you're not actually saying that to anybody watching at this point.
Yeah.
So
So listen, we're doing this YouTube thing because we like it, not because of the subs, not because of the likes, and the money's not bad, but not because of the money. I mean, we could be doing so many more productive things with our time. But listen, we like injustice. We like figuring out how glitches work. We like helping people. But this isn't a full-time job, and at the point where it feels like a chore, this channel's going to be over. Basically, we're gonna stop it.
yeah, but everybody watching till this point, you are a lot of the reason why we're not. So we thank you for that.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Komoda.